On April 16, 2007, Virginia Tech, one of the most prestigious universities in the United States, became the scene of one of the deadliest school attacks in American history. This tragic event, which claimed the lives of 32 innocent people and injured many others, left a lasting impact on the nation, sparking debates about security, mental health, and gun control. The massacre shocked the world, not only because of its scale but also due to the psychological profile of the perpetrator and the systemic failures that allowed such an event to unfold. In this deep dive, we will explore the timeline of events, the background of the perpetrator, the aftermath, and the lessons learned from this devastating incident. Understanding the full scope of this tragedy requires looking beyond just the sequence of events and delving into the systemic issues that played a role. The Virginia Tech massacre remains a stark reminder of the vulnerability of educational institutions and the complexities of addressing mental health and firearm access in modern society. It forced institutions to reconsider their policies on student well-being, communication between law enforcement and universities, and the accessibility of firearms for individuals with documented mental health issues. The ripple effects of this event can still be felt today, as many of the debates it ignited continue to shape policies and reforms aimed at preventing future tragedies. The individual responsible for the attack was Sung-Hui Cho, a 23-year-old senior majoring in English at Virginia Tech. Cho was born in South Korea and immigrated to the United States with his family at the age of 8. He was known to be extremely introverted and struggled with severe social anxiety, which made it difficult for him to form relationships with peers or professors. His behavior raised concerns among teachers and classmates for years, as he often refused to communicate or participate in social interactions. Several professors reported his disturbing writing assignments and erratic classroom behavior to university officials. In one instance, a faculty member was so unsettled by his work that she requested he be removed from her class. Despite these concerns, university actions were limited. While some faculty members reported his disturbing behavior to administrators, no significant intervention took place beyond a recommendation for counseling. Cho was referred to the university's mental health services in 2005, but records indicate he did not follow through with consistent treatment. Privacy laws also prevented professors from being fully informed about his mental health status, further complicating any potential intervention efforts. Many students described him as an outsider, someone who seemed deeply troubled but remained largely ignored by the system. The lack of a robust mental health response was not just a failure of Virginia Tech, but a reflection of broader systemic issues in the handling of mental health crises in educational institutions. During his time at Virginia Tech, Cho exhibited disturbing behavior in his creative writing assignments, often portraying dark and violent themes. His professors and peers found his demeanor unsettling, and some even reported him to school authorities. In 2005, he was evaluated by mental health professionals and was diagnosed with selective mutism and severe depression. Despite being ordered by a court to seek out patient mental health treatment, privacy laws, including HIPAA regulations, limited the ability of university officials and law enforcement to access his mental health records. Additionally, Virginia state law at the time did not require outpatient treatment records to be reported to the federal background check system, meaning Cho was still able to legally purchase firearms. The systemic gaps in communication between mental health professionals, law enforcement, and university officials further hindered efforts to intervene before the tragedy occurred. The lack of a centralized system for sharing mental health records meant that Cho's diagnosis did not flag him as a prohibited firearm purchaser, highlighting a critical flaw in the system. Additionally, Cho's writings and videos hinted at deep-seated anger, resentment, and a sense of alienation. He often compared himself to infamous figures in history, portraying himself as a victimized hero seeking revenge. His internal struggles remained largely unnoticed beyond a handful of faculty members and classmates who had raised concerns about his behavior. His ability to legally purchase firearms, despite his mental health history, highlighted significant loopholes in the system, loopholes that would later be scrutinized in the wake of the tragedy. This highlighted the disconnect between mental health institutions, law enforcement, and gun control measures, an issue that still sparks debate today. In the months leading up to the attack, Cho's behavior became increasingly erratic. He began making alarming statements to classmates and his fixation on violence grew more pronounced. Despite these warning signs, no substantial intervention was made. In February 2007, he purchased his first firearm, a Walther P22 handgun, from a local gun store. A month later, he legally bought a second weapon, a Glock 19 handgun, along with additional ammunition. These purchases went unnoticed by authorities due to gaps in background check enforcement, despite his documented history of mental health struggles. As the date of the attack approached, Cho meticulously planned his actions. He studied past mass shootings, including the Columbine Massacre, and took notes on how to maximize casualties. He conducted reconnaissance of campus buildings, noting security vulnerabilities and potential escape routes. His plan was coldly calculated, leaving little chance for intervention once he put it into motion. He also recorded a series of videos and wrote a lengthy manifesto detailing his grievances against society. These materials, later sent to NBC News, provided chilling insight into his mindset, filled with messages of vengeance, self-pity, and justification for the massacre he was about to commit. His rhetoric painted himself as a martyr who had suffered injustices at the hands of a society that had alienated him. Following the attack, discussions on mental health reform, gun control, and campus security intensified. Law enforcement faced significant challenges during their response, including initial confusion over whether the first shootings were an isolated incident or part of a larger threat. The delay in identifying the shooter allowed Cho to continue his rampage without immediate intervention. Communication breakdowns between emergency responders and university officials also complicated efforts to secure the campus. In the aftermath, authorities conducted extensive reviews of their response strategies, leading to improved coordination, real-time alert systems, and enhanced active shooter training protocols for law enforcement agencies nationwide. The NICS Improvement Amendments Act of 2007 strengthened reporting requirements for individuals with disqualifying mental health conditions, ensuring that states provided more comprehensive records to the federal background check system. Universities nationwide implemented crisis response plans, ensuring more effective lockdown procedures and communication systems. Beyond policy changes, the emotional and psychological impact of the massacre was immense. Survivors, families of victims, and first responders faced years of trauma and grief. Many survivors became vocal advocates for stricter gun control and improved mental health services, sharing their experiences to push for legislative action. The massacre also led to more rigorous training for law enforcement and emergency responders in handling mass casualty incidents, ensuring faster and more coordinated responses in the future. The lessons learned from that dark day continue to shape policies aimed at preventing future atrocities. However, the question remains, have enough changes been made to prevent another tragedy of this scale? Or do the systemic issues that allowed this event to happen still persist beneath the surface?
If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into more cases like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like the video if you found the story compelling, and share it with your friends and family who might be interested in true crime and mysteries. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with all our latest content and join a growing community of curious minds exploring the most fascinating cases. Click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything.